Well, I think the Affordable Care Act has already had impact on real lives. A woman that I met and spoke with, Sue Black, who is a teacher at Inglemoor High School in Kenmore, lives in the 1st Congressional District. She was diagnosed with ovarian cancer and has about 7 years ago and has been fighting it ever since. 2 years ago, she got a letter in the mail saying she was about to reach her lifetime cap for care and was going to be cut off. The Affordable Care Act passing means that her insurance can no longer impose lifetime limits and cut off her health care. And she's still teaching at Inglemoor High School and doing well and fighting cancer. But these are the real world stories that are impacted by legislation. Now, have we solved health care today? Definitely not. I'm a big believer that no one bill is going to solve our big challenges, and frankly, we shouldn't be letting policy sit on the table for long periods of time. You know, healthcare is something we should be tackling every Congress. We should see what's working and what's not working and keep moving forward. I think it's terrible that we're trying to relitigate the past when many of the policies in the Affordable Care Act actually people agree on, and many policies in the Affordable Care Act came from bipartisan sources, the ideas that are put in place. So it is about moving forward, and there's work that we need to do to continue to make sure our healthcare system focuses on quality of care and doesn't just reward quantity of care, that we look at ways to modernize our healthcare system so that we use technology, et cetera, in terms of movement of electronic records and allow people to kind of get rid of some of the complexity that they deal with day to day in our healthcare system. But in the end, it's about making sure that every American has access to affordable, quality health care, and that's a goal that we need to continue to work on to achieve.
Thank you. I think the question was, do our constituents, as we go around, favor it? And the answer to that is the vast majority of people I've talked to would like to see this repealed. They don't like the idea that they're mandated to buy health care. They don't like the fact that there's 21 new taxes in this bill. You know, there's much to be said about some of the things that were agreed upon in the bill. I said we did healthcare reform at the state, and we did. We didn't. Frankly, we didn't do a great job of it at the state, but we did I would say, a good job. I say what we did at the state is more like operating with a tablespoon than a scalpel, because we didn't repeal it, even though there were parts of it that we liked to keep in it. And that was what we called Hillary care at that point. There's much said about pre-existing conditions. We dealt with that at the state level. I think some of our people forget we did that at the state level. There was only a 3 months exemption. Even HIPAA dealt with some of those things, and we dealt with the fact that you could stay on your parents' insurance policy. I believe in this state, even prior to the allegedly Affordable Care Act, you could stay on until you were 25. But frankly, when my kids are 25, I want them to go out and buy their own health care insurance, because I'm hoping by that time they've got an education and they've got a job and they can go out and afford to pay that for the health care for their own well-being. We were told, at least they were told, that you'd be able to keep your private insurance when the Affordable Health Care Act was passed. You can't. In fact, my son works for an employer who provides Cadillac health care plans for his employees and his families. There's a 40% tax that goes on in 2014 on those so-called Cadillac plans. This is anything but free market. When government decides what the minimums are and government decides what the maximums are and says this is what you have to buy, and you will buy it or you'll be penalized. Call it a tax, call it what you want. It's a mandate and it's a penalty.
I want to thank Governor Mitt Romney for leading the way.